Hi, this is Wasabi. Welcome back to the channel. It's a battle on the Pilsen map, and we've got Bosnitch from King's Clan and his tier 10 mouse. I'll see if he's got a few missions on. Let's have a quick look at him. He's got heavy tank 12 for the T55A, which needs 2000 damage and blocking of 3 times your own armor, your hit points. Sorry. So he would need to block 9900 hit points. It's also got block 15, which is also about blocking damage, but he's already completed the main condition for that, so he's just looking for the secondary condition if he's going to do that. Anyway, so he's in a super heavy tank, we call it, the mouse, and this is a tier 10, tier 9 match, so he is top tier, and we will see what he comes up against. If he's going to block damage, he would be better to be facing the tanks with the highest alpha, but yeah, you don't know really who you're going to see straight away, so you'll have to basically move up through the factory complex and see what he can find. So there's 2 heavy tanks on the other side, that AMX-50B and the Panzer 7. There's an STB-1 and a Gorilla 15. The Gorilla could obviously, that's got a high alpha gun, as well as the Panzer 7. So we'll see if that helps him. Anyway, he's pushing up here, and he's got the Panzer 7 in front of him. He's just been spotted. You can see he's angling his tank to basically give us much protection from his armor as possible. Puts a snapshot into the Panzer 7 and does his damage. He's firing premium rounds here, be marking the tank, and he is just holding this position, basically, trying to keep his angle. He's basically blocked the shot from the Panzer 7. Now, one of the things about the mouse is that the front face of the turret is part of the weakest armor, so if you're not aiming, you really need to keep your turret aimed away, which can be a bit confusing for some players. You see Boz is basically putting his turret back in line with his tank at the same angle, and only basically turning around when he's basically in a position to shoot. Now, he was pretty safe there because he knows the Panzer 7's behind the rubble there, so he can basically wait for the Panzer 7 to pull back to try and shoot, and be ready to shoot at the same time. And so he's already up to 1000 damage dealt and 1600 blocked. But anyway, we'll have to wait and see whether he's going to be able to complete this mission with the tanks against him. Goes for a cupola shot there, probably a sort of a low probability shot there. That I'm not sure if that actually connected, but yeah, it certainly didn't penetrate. He's found a Type 4 heavy there. That shot just bounced. So again, it would have been the angle of the Type 4. It does have very strong frontal armor. Takes a incoming round from the Type 4, but that doesn't penetrate either. So he's still got his full hit points, and he's just basically waiting for that Panzer 7 to get out of shape, potentially back up too far, or otherwise expose the weaker part of his tanks. The side of the turret on the Panzer 7, or at least the bottom part of the turret, is a weak spot. And it's a rear turreted vehicle, so he's probably trying to make the most of that in that position. But otherwise the frontal armor is pretty strong. So Boz decides that he needs to get closer to change the angles, and so he's moving across. He's found the tier 7 Chinese tank, the the WZ-111-14, who does put him at damages his tracks as well, so he uses his repair kit for that, but he's also up against another tier 9 tank, the ML2. So puts a shot into the Wheezy, which takes him out, and the ML2's decided he better run away. So will he get away in time from the reload time? The mouse has got a pretty reasonably short reload, I should say, and the ML2 basically doesn't escape in time. So now Boz is in a position where the Panzer VII's basically facing different tanks. He's got to make a decision which way he faces, so he's effectively giving his side to Boz, so which is basically easy pickings. And with a relatively fast-firing gun of the mouse, he can put in a good number of shots. Unfortunately, just misses the kill on that. The IS-32 takes him out there. That's the double-barreled Tier 9 Soviet tank. So here he is just pushing further forward. The Type 4 Heavy is on his left, or certainly was. Be interested to see where he's ended up. And there's a Conk GC that was spotted earlier. So we'll see whether that comes into his view. Type 4 Heavy goes down from the IS-32, and there's the Conk GC. So it's behind hard cover. It's not something you can shoot through, but manages to get the angle on him and take him out. So he's up to 3 kills now, just taking some damage there from one of the remaining artillery that set him on fire. The German tanks commonly have got the transmission at the front, so if you do get a frontal hit, particularly penetration, that can cause an engine fire. It's sort of a bit incongruous to some people. They think the engine's at the back, but certainly in the mouse the engines are at the front, and you can see where the exhausts are coming out to show that. But it's also the fact that the transmission's at the front that yeah, it makes it weaker there. So possibly the arty run actually landed on the front deck, which might have caused the fire. But we can see Boz here was running the auto fire extinguisher, which really helps. He wasn't replacing that with food, so that gave him the protection he needed for there. So his team are actually 2 tanks down, but they do have a hit point advantage. Nearly, just 1,200 hit points up, which is the equivalent of about a tank. 50B just gets out of the way in time. Could have been a good snapshot there, which would have taken him down a fair bit in health. There's basically probably a 2-shot to the mouse there, if you can get access to him. And there's the Grilla, but also the WZ-120, the Chinese scout tank there, has just come into view, and the Grilla's just bounced off him. So he's got interesting. He's got up to 4,400 bounce now, 3,700 damage. So he's moving pretty well along on his target, but I think with the number of tanks left, they won't necessarily last long. Boz puts in another shot into the Grilla, which takes him down to 1 shot, and the Grilla looks like he duffed a shot into the ground. And does he get another shot in? He does, and there goes the Grilla 15. So 4 kills now for Boz. He's got the 50B in front of him and the W120 to his left, but so he's just checking there whether he's got an opportunity to shoot, which he does. Puts in a shot, but unfortunately that was a snapshot that missed. So now he's heading down at high speed for a mouse, that is, to try and chase after the 50B, which is pretty funny when you think about it. The 50B is one of the fastest tier 10s around for a heavy tank, and the mouse is one of the slowest. But he's chugging along at 20 kilometers an hour. Gets a shot right into the top of the turret there at the 50B. Takes him down to a single shot kill if he gets the opportunity. So this 50B, not well known for its armor, but it's got fantastic clip potential. So if you are in front of its gun and he's got premium rounds loaded, they can basically clip a tier 10 tank pretty quickly. So pretty deadly tank sometimes in certain situations, but this 50B is obviously not having a good game. So Boz just tries to get a shot in on top of his turret, but goes away. Possibly the 50B then is on reload. He's not attempting to try and get in a position. He is on low hit points, of course, but potentially he could be pumping damage into the mouse. But you'd think by the time Boz catches up with him, he's probably got his clip reloaded. So we're chugging along. 5k damage dealt already. Hasn't bounced any more hit points, but he's still got a fair chunk of hit points left. Pretty safe to say that can certainly take a trade with the 50B and deal with him. So he pokes up here just to see whether he can bait a shot. 50B was looking in another direction, but decided well to keep going. The first shot went in, but not to Boz, but the second one went into his track, so he managed to get the kill shot on the 50B there. So he's still got over 2,000 of his own hit points there, which is what most tier 10 tanks start out with, so it's in pretty good shape. But they're being capped out, so it looks like the T10 Soviet heavy tank there on the enemy side is sitting on cap, and there's the WZ-120 light tank and T-54 lightweight medium both active in that area, and the only tanks left on Boz's side is him and the tier 9 Martian, and I think the Martian's on relatively low health, I think about half his health, so let's see whether that's going to be any use to him. So that T10, oh, he just took a hit from the Martian, clearly. That's taking him down. They've got to be careful. The GW Tiger's still there on the enemy side, hasn't been seen for a little while, so Boz is basically looking at it, has been lit. And yeah, there you go, the Artie basically puts a shot into him. So he's just going to keep pushing. It was probably that WZ-120 that lit him up there, so we can just see him on the right there. And Boz is just going to see, well, look, he's got an opportunity to get a shot in. Now that missed, but yeah, I'm not sure that WZ-120 is actually paying too much attention. He's just going to line him up again. Just waiting for the rubble to clear and gets a kill shot in there. So now on 6 kills, he's got his top gun. The GW Tiger reminds him again that he exists and takes another chunk of health off, but he's still pretty healthy overall. Can take a few more hits. The Martian has come up against the T-54 lightweight. It may not be a fair fight if the lightweight uses his maneuverability. The Martian's not that nimble a tank. It's pretty much a tier 9 version of the Mouse, probably not quite as good in its tier as the Mouse is, but nonetheless going up. And looks like the Martian might have switched to HE, just put in a low hit point hit on the T10. Might have just really had the top of the turret or something similar to view against, so suggest the T10 is behind cover, and in fact that's probably what he is. There's a big pile of rubble at the back of the cap circle there, so he's probably on one side of that. But yeah, Boz is slowly grinding on to that. We just got a glimpse of the Martian there. He's down to 33 hit points, and in fact goes down to the T-54 lightweight, who himself is only on 4 hit points, so pretty interesting battle there. But Boz can't really afford to wait around. He's got to push on this T10 and see what he can do about this capping situation. I think there goes the T-54 lightweight, just bounces off him. Just firing standard APCR there, so probably not his best opportunity to make damage. But Boz realises the T-54 lightweight's a bit of a nuisance, and he manages to basically circle, put a circle around his name there and cross him out, send him back to the garage. And so here he is facing the T10. Does put a hit into him, so the T10's down now to a one-shot, but he notices the GW Tiger is drawing close, which is pretty brave of the GW Tiger. I'm not sure what he's trying to do there, but basically leaves him open to being killed. So Boz now on 8 kills. He's got a Radley Walters medal out of this, and the T10 is there, desperately trying to circle him, but circling a heavy tank with another heavy tank, not necessarily going to go down in his favour. And that's the end of the battle with 9 kills. So that was an Ace Tanker Mastery Badge with a whole bunch of medals. You got the Pascucci's medal for killing the 2 Arties, the Radley Walters for getting more than 8 kills, Defender, he managed to get more than 70 base capture points, Steel Wall, High Caliber, and the Top Gun Award. So ended up with 7 bonds as well and 101,000 credits. So a pretty good result there. He also managed to get his Excalibur mission improved, meeting the additional requirements, and that got him the order he needed to help him finish the Excalibur missions. So he's very happy with that. 1419 base experience out of that 6685 damage. Most of that was pretty much in the face of the enemy. Well on top of his team, but you can see that IS-3-2 finished on top of the rest of the tank, so well done to that player there. 27 shots fired and only 21 hit, but he did fire a few snapshots there, and the 15 pens more relate to the limited opportunities he had when he was facing the Panzer 7 and the Type 4. Just managed to make a profit there, and well done for completing the missions.